What is up, YouTube? This is Reels of Clark here, and today we're going on another fishing adventure. As you can see, the boat is currently not hooked up. That means that the water is too rough. We had a hurricane come through here recently, and all the water and the waves and everything is really messed up, and it's really high and rough, and it's just not a very safe bet to take the boat out today. So we're gonna go from land. I got a couple good land spots that I've used to go to a lot. We're gonna try some of those. We're gonna buy some live shrimp and hopefully we catch on to a big fish. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so here's a lot of the gear that we're bringing today. We got a backpack cooler. We got like about 5 rods and some rod holders, cast net in there. So I'll go over more of the gear and the rigs that we use later on, but this is basically the stuff that we'll be using today. We just got here to the spot and it's high tide right now, so the water should be really good, full of fish in those creeks. So we're gonna try the creeks first and then we're gonna go try the surf and see what happens. All right, guys, so before we get fishing today, let me show you the setup that we're using. I have a Penn Battle 2 combo with a 7-foot rod, really good saltwater inshore rod and reel. It's corrosion resistant, so it does well when it gets wet. It's one of the perfect setups that I use for inshore fishing, and I definitely recommend it to you guys. For our lures, while we throw in the creeks, I have a spoon, golden spoon with a little jig head on it. I'm gonna throw a gulp on this and cast it in the creeks and see if we can catch a redfish or a trout. All right, so I'm walking up to the first spot now, and a lot of these mud creeks. I've never really fished here before, but I've heard stories of some of my family and friends coming here and catching nice redfish during high tide. So we're gonna try doing just that and we'll see what happens. All right, so we're gonna move spots. I only took about 5 casts or so in this one spot, but there's not a lot of action going on and there's no mullet jumping, and looks like there's a lot of good spots over that way. So I'm gonna head over there and see if we can catch something. All right, so I just made it to the beach and it definitely looks like you can fish here. It's pretty calm, actually. The rocks right there block a lot of the waves and the current. So this might be a really good pocket for some fish. And it's definitely safe to walk out. I had no trouble, it was pretty sturdy. But also you can see that the rest of the pier is almost completely destroyed and there's no way that we could get out to over there. So we'll set the rods out over here. I'll go back to the car and get the gear and we'll set things up. All right, so I got the gear out here. We're all pretty much set up. We got on this rod, Carolina style rig, 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. So we're gonna put live shrimp on that. And on the other rods, we'll probably put some live mullet if we can catch that, maybe even some crabs. But we'll go ahead and start with the live shrimp. All right. Well, the current is really strong, and it's actually pushing my bait pretty close to where the old pier is, which is a little bit of an issue, because I don't want it to get caught or snagged on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and reel it up, and I'm gonna walk over on those rocks and cast to the opposite side. All right, so it's really windy out here, and it took a little bit. The rocks weren't very flat. I finally got out here. Probably should have brought some more bait because it's not going to be fun to have to go back and get more. But hopefully I can catch a fish. And yeah, let's see what happens. So I just got back from the jetty, the rock area, and I got absolutely no bites. So we just left that first spot. We didn't really have any luck. The current was really strong, the conditions weren't great, and I didn't get a single bite. So we're gonna move on further up the coast and hopefully find a spot with some fish. So we ditched that last spot and now we're at this new area. It's Bald Point State Park. So we're gonna try to see if we can catch some fish here. All right, so we just made it out to the next spot. It looks pretty decent. The conditions are not as bad. The water seems kind of calm, and I don't know, maybe we'll even catch some fish here. So we'll get some rods in the water and we'll see what happens. So now we got 3 rods out. We got live shrimp, and on that last one we have a pinfish. Might be getting a bite. Oh, we're getting a bite. Don't know if it's still there or how big it was. That was definitely a fish. I don't feel anything, but it's definitely a good sign. All right, guys, I think I got the first fish on here. I didn't even know he was on. Does not seem that big, but it's a fish and it's a start. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, it's a little red. Look at that, little red fish, and he swallowed the hook. Makes sense because I didn't know he was on. All right, we'll get that taken care of. All right, guys, little redfish, nice little guy. We're gonna let him go. It's a start. Maybe we can catch something nicer or bigger. All right, guys, we got something else on the live shrimp. There's a little bit of fight. Okay, it's moving with me. Oh, it's a nice trout. Look at this. Ooh, grab him, grab him. Sweet. On the shrimp.
Sandy.
Look at this guy. Nice little trouter. Second catch. Now we got a redfish and a trout. That's 1 fish away from the Grand Slam, technically. Intro Grand Slam, but nice. Let's let this guy go. Oh, he went on his own. All right, guys, so we had to move spots again. We hit like a hour or 2 period where we did not catch or get like a single bite. It was the same spot that we caught that little redfish and trout. So we moved to another spot. It's kind of windy. It's another rock area. I don't know, waves are crashing in, but I've caught some fish here before, so maybe we'll do the same today. All right, guys, we're gonna try this one last spot. Hasn't been a very good day. Conditions aren't very great, but it looks decent over here. It looks like it's an old boat ramp. I don't know if it's still being used or not. You guys can see. So there's a lot of private property around here and not a lot of places to fish, but this is public. So we're gonna do our best and see if we can catch a fish. Guys, look, we caught a little speckled trout. Tiny little speckled trout in the cast net. Look at this guy. That's so cool. Nice. Well, let's let him go. All right, well, that just about wraps it up. We were not able to get onto the bite. Again, it was really difficult to even get anything for the rest of the day. So we're gonna call it a day. We've been out here for a long time, working really hard to try to get some good footage to show you guys, but unfortunately we were not able to do that. However, I mean, we're still able to catch the trout and the redfish, so technically we were only a flounder away from a Grand Slam, which is kind of hard to believe considering the amount of luck that we've had today. But nevertheless, it was a good day just to be out by the water fishing. You know, It's never a bad day out fishing. So hopefully next time we catch into a lot of fish, hook up with a lot of fish, and we'll be able to show you guys. But today was just one of those days, so that's fine, it happens. But we'll be out there soon and we'll get some footage, we'll get some good shots. So stay tuned for more Reels of Clark. You know guys, even though after a long day of trying to catch fish and not catching hardly anything, one thing that always makes it better is the Popeyes chicken sandwich. This thing is the real deal. So if you haven't tried it already, go try it. Popeyes is good. Sweet. Peace out.